Hello, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in to the Diaspora Panel. This is the Diaspora Panel. We are the voice of the diaspora. Today, I have with me, as always, I have Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, who is based in the United States of America. Mr. Adedigba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yes, my pleasure.
And I want to thank everybody who have subscribed to our channel. Thank you very much, and thank you for viewing all our videos. And if you, by any chance, you have not yet subscribed, I want to advise you, to implore you to click on that subscription button. It is free of charge. It means then that anytime we do a new video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. And please, if you like any of our videos, please share it, tell your friends so that they too could watch the videos. So, and if you want to send us any message, please send your messages to info@diasporapanel.com. Today, we are going to discuss a few issues. The first one we're going to discuss with is the issues that has bothered our country for so long. We noticed that during the last regime of President Muhammadu Buhari, there was a lot of clamor for state police, for restructuring, for resource control, for fiscal federalism, and it was all over the media. But subsequently, after the power shift hands and to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we noticed that all these noises have died down. So does it mean that because a southerner has now taken over as president, we no longer need to restructure? Does it mean that we no longer need state police? We can see what is going on in Plateau State, where hundreds of Christians are being killed by so-called housemen. You've seen what is going on in Nigeria, in Niger State, where bandits are taking on the Nigerian army and killing last week about 30-something men or boys and girls of the military. So does it now mean that our clamor for restructuring is only a southern affair? It's only when the South is out of power? Or do we still need to have state police? Do we still need to restructure Nigeria? Do we still need to talk about resource control and fiscal federalism? So, Lighton, this is the first thing I want you to tackle. What is your opinion on this?
Yeah, my take is that we still need to restructure Nigeria. Nigeria is not governed like a modern day governments. We're back up. These are not device techniques of a modern day governance. The section, really, we were clamoring for state policing, local county policing, local government policing, and federal policing. So we still need them. Like you rightly said, every now and then, bandits will go to various homes, they will go to cities, they will go to villages to go and kill people. But if we have police in those localities, the police like here, all these county police, they know the numbers of if you are not resident, if you are not a resident on this road, on this county, they will know that this guy is not from here. This guy is, because we have them in abundance. On the street, you can have like 4 or 5 police. So, which is okay, it's good for the country. So, just to cover up crimes. But in Nigeria, our police, they will ask them to go and be taking bags for local government chairman, wife, taking shoes, polishing shoes, which is, we are under police. At least we should, a police, as it's being practiced in their transport, we should have 100 person for at least 10 police. Right. So it's normal. We should have police. We should have state police. We should have, and all the state police, they will be trooping around all these interstates. They will be in interstate. The county police, they will be within the local government. that is being called in Nigeria, but in here is in county. So they will know themselves. They know these people. If the crime really happen, okay, like now, what they did is all these youth in this area. You know what they did? They make sure that the county police, they will just arrest everybody, and they will make sure they do a fingerprint for them. Everybody, they will do a big. So whenever there is a crime, right, the forensic analysts, they will just go there, they will look at the search. I mean, wherever those guys they came in. So they will just mark the place, and they will just go and run it in the office. They will know the house where the criminal lives. So that is how to move. That is how to take care of that is how to do a community policing, which is okay for us.
Thank you, Lighton. So apart from the community, the community policing, there are other issues like, for example, restructuring, like fiscal federalism, resource control. I remember that in 2014, under Goodluck Jonathan, there was a conference. Was this 2014 or 2000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it was under Goodluck Jonathan, and we made this conference, we had this conference, and there was a lot of resolution that was written in the conference papers, which actually, restructured Nigeria. So why do you think that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should revisit these constitutional conference papers and implement all the resolutions in this paper?
Yeah, they should try and implement it. Like the resource control is there, the number of people per state is there, a lot of things. Nigeria is not structured well, right? Even the derivation, we have to go back to derivation too, right? Some people are the tax they are collecting in Lagos State is more than the start they are collecting in Kano State, right? Jigawa was carved out of Kano State, but yet Kano State, from the federal allocation, Kano State is still getting higher amounts than Lagos State. So these are the area we need to address. What is the population of Kano State? What is the population of Lagos State? Right? Whatever money they generate in Lagos State, they will take it to the federal, and the federal that is not federalism. That is not federalism. The federating units, right? They should have their fear. They should have a say in whatever they are whatever they are contributing, right? Whatever they are contributing, right? It should to the federal will be for the federal. Not that they will pass everything, whatever you get, you take it to the federal. That is military era. That is what we are doing, the carryover of military era. And it's wrong. We are practicing federal system of government, for God's sake. So these are the area we need to look at, right? The area of even the salaries, the jumbo salary of the legislator and the executives, it has to be looked at too, right? The bicameralism system of government we are practicing, Nigeria is not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable. These are the area a lot of people are following unspeakable privation. They can't afford a square meal. Some people say they want to be getting, say, 80 billion. They want to be getting 800 billion naira. For what? It's as if that they distance themselves from the people they are ruling.
Okay, Lighton. Let's go to the next topic. I want us to briefly talk about the fall of the naira. In the last few days, we saw the naira skyrocket since the removal of the arbitrage by the president. We used to be about 400 in the central bank, but after the removal of the forex subsidy, if I may put it like that, it went to about 700. But after that, in a few days, we saw it go towards about 950. Although it's gone back to it's gone down to about 700 now. But Lighton, the question I want to ask you, I want you to tackle easy. I mean, we all live, in this abroad. I have never, ever, ever seen anybody on the street of UK or Ireland selling dollars. If you want to buy dollars or you want to buy pounds, you go to the bank. You can't buy it. Why is it so difficult in Nigeria for Nigerians to follow rules? Because at the end of the day, all these borrow to change, they were owned by people in the bank. They are owned by governors, former governors, people in our houses, in our legislative houses, and they go and buy these dollars, and then they hoard it and they go and sell it to the street vendors. So, and the problem is that if you go to the bank that you want to buy dollars or any kind of foreign currency, they will never sell it to you in a bank. They will always tell you to go to a malam. But is that the kind of system that will help Nigeria?
It is the duty of the government. I don't know what the FEC are doing now. During the time of Obasanjo, they normally sit down and till daybreak, we will be outside. While I was working with the late Bosse Ogunmiwa, they discussed these issues till daybreak. I don't know what the governors, what they are doing now, what they discuss. I don't know. These are the things they need to be discussing. How to make Nigeria better, how to make people feel the sense of belonging. Right? And now, these are the areas they need to sit down. We need, I always say it, we need people who are, we need system administrators. All the system administrators to come and govern, to come and be the governors, to come and be all these people. So they will know what to do. All these people, when you put somebody who is not learned, so they just get their money through the various activities. To be at the end of we are amassing more. They will not be thinking. We need thinking people. We need thinkers to be ruling us in Nigeria. Except we get thinkers. If we don't get thinkers, we ain't going nowhere. Like the American will say, we ain't going nowhere. Let me tell you, it is a duty of the central bank. The act that established central bank, the section code, there is a section in the constitution of the central bank that says the central bank should regulate, right, the currency of the nation. But you see, the central bank, they listen to the IMF and World Bank. Before they do, I'm telling you, they do. This is what the imperialists, they are the one that came to Nigeria that, okay, devalue your naira, you will get it. They will use all our leaders to persuade us to do this. But now, the naira is so, I heard VOA, Voice of America say, naira is now undervalued. It's no more value again. So, since 1985, when they introduced Forex, I remember our lecturers at Tiffany, they were telling us that bread will become $2. Bread was two kobo, 25 kobo, 20 to 30 kobo. So he said bread will become $2, $3. If they devalue naira, they devalue this. But lo and behold, Babangida went ahead. He called everybody to round table, but they got IMF constitutionality, and the naira was devalued. So what I'm saying invariably is the pressure on naira is the law of demand and supply. When schools in Nigeria they are collecting naira, it's illegal. I mean, they are
collecting dollars.
They're collecting dollars. It's illegal. Our legal tender is naira, not dollar.
Even some embassies now they are asking for dollars in embassies.
It's illegal. The embassies they can't do that in Nigeria. We need people who knows their onion. At the end of affairs in Nigeria, Tinubu alone cannot do anything. Yeah, we need the legislators who are well far who are assisting administrator. We need people who are not after themselves, but after the people that elected them. Right?
Well, anyway, the central bank has now made some measures. I think they took a load of about 3 billion from one African Nexim Bank, and which they have now used some of that money to stabilize the market. But how long will Nigeria continue to defend the naira? When when the problem we have is that all our celebrities, they want to ride Lamborghinis, they want to ride Mercedes, they want to ride all these big cars from abroad, including all our legislators.
That's where I'm going. You know, for medical excursion they are doing, you know how much the Nigeria spend on their president, on their all the politicians. You know how much they spend, right? They come here for medical excursion, right? Medical checkup. All the in Gambia, the president in Gambia said nobody must go to overseas country again. They did the naira swap with China. You know, America told them that no, Emefiele, if you want to do this, you should not do anything. You should not have anything with China. You should not. China, anybody that wants to go to China, we just take up yuan to go and spend in China. Anybody that is coming from China should just take up naira to come and spend in Nigeria. Naira would have gone down, right? The value of naira would have gone down drastically. Okay, now you know what the Japan did now. Japan, Russia, 4 countries. They said they are not going to be spending dollar again. They want to be exchanging. They want to be spending their currency.
Their own currency among themselves.
Yeah, among themselves. They don't want to spend that. But in Naira, the imperialists, they lord it upon us. That, okay, we should be spending. These are the things. Until we cut ourselves from the apron string of this people, we go nowhere. Right? Everybody want to spend. They want to buy cars. Look, okay, the money they allocated to all our senators now. They will go outside to go and buy cars.
So why can they not buy from Innocent Motors, from all these manufacturers in Nigeria?
You know amount of kickbacks they will collect. So the Innocent will not give them enough. So it's a deal. Right? It's a deal. They can't do that.
So these are the real reason why the naira has fallen down, because we are not even buying made in Nigeria.
Okay, let me give you another example. Look at Dangote. Dangote got the land free of charge from Lagos State. They asked him to come and invest here. Central Bank, Nigeria, they gave all the dollars to him to import. For him, official rate, right? They gave him everything he imported. They gave him duty free, and they now said they have 20%. How do they come back? How do they come down to arrive? How do they arrive at 20%? NNPC and the 20%. These are fraud, and yet the refinery that is it not laughable? The refinery that they've launched
in March. They launched it in March.
They commissioned the refinery before Buhari left. It's here to be dispensing fuel. So these are the good things. We are fraud. Yeah. Even they are subsidizing for the wealthy people. It's not for the common people. Why common people are suffering? They are bearing the brunt.
Okay. Later, just briefly, I wanted to also talk to one more thing, but it looked like we have Mr. Lawal coming in. Bear with me a moment. So okay. I wanted us to talk briefly about, you know, that the chairman of EFCC, the former chairman, Abdulahi Bawa, if I got his name right, he has been removed from office and he has been arrested by the DSS. But since his arrest, he has not been taken to court. And I think it's about 60 days, over 60 days now. We are now in a democracy. I mean, this man has his own rights. I mean, he's a citizen of the country. Is this the way we should treat people under democracy? Because I'm not sure that this is the President Tinubu's idea. I think the people in DSS are just overzealous, and, arresting people and detaining people, without following due process. This is not Tinubu's idea. Definitely not, because the president himself is an activist, and he's been there before, so you know what it is. So I don't think this is the idea. So do you think that the DSS should either publicly put him on trial or let him go? Before you answer, let me welcome Mr. Olalawa to this conversation. Mr. Lawal, you are welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, and sorry for joining you a bit late today.
No problem at all. So we have already discussed a few things, but what we are discussing now is the arrest and detention of Abdulahi Bawa. We are thinking that under a democracy, it should have been either brought to justice, brought to the courts to be tried, or released. And I am very sure that this is not President Tinubu's urging. I think the DSS are just overzealous, in doing their duty. So we are going to let you talk about that. So, but Lighton, can you respond briefly before Mr. Lawal will respond?
Okay, what's the question again, please?
Yeah, about the chairman of EFCC who has been detained without being brought to justice.
I think the guy is being held in the custody to avert impeding judgment. I mean, impeding justice, right? It might influence if it's outside. It is practiced all over the world. That is a usual practice when they are investigating you, right? They don't want you to get in touch with people outside, right? So as not to circumvent the result, right? The investigation. So it's normal, right? And considering the fact the Bawa is a government. I think it doesn't. He refused to answer the DSS questions. They put questions to him. He said he's not ready to answer those questions. So he refused. That is what I read online.
I think before you arrest somebody, you should have made your investigation first. You should not arrest somebody and then be investigating him. If you arrest somebody, so why did you arrest him in the first place if you are still investigating? So I think that the DSS should be advised that everybody has a right. I mean, this man has a wife, he has children, he has relatives, he has people looking up to him. So as a citizen of the country, I wouldn't like my own son to be treated like that, or my own relative to be treated like that. I think that they should bring him to court and publicly declare this is your offense, and then try him, not just putting him behind locking him up in a room and leaving him there for 2 months. Mr. Bawa, what's your opinion?
I'm perfectly with you. I think what you see happening in Nigeria are two things. I think the first thing is that there is really no rule of law, to be very frank. We don't, and quoting the words of Delivery to me, we don't have citizenry in Nigeria because, when you call somebody a citizen,
Mr. Bawa, please, small.
No, I mean, I'm being honest. What is actually happening is exactly what you've spelled out. They arrested somebody while they are investigating, which is supposed to be the other way around. If you say somebody has committed a crime, you have to be able to bring the evidence that you have of that crime to a court of law, based on which he can be arrested. Depending on the gravity of the charges, he may be held, without bail. But that is not something that DSS should determine. That is something that a judge should determine. Following, there are many things that are wrong in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, Even the DSS and all of these agencies should not be able to arrest people. They should be able to bring evidence before a judge. The judge will look at the evidence and then will grant a warrant for an arrest. If you are, so what was he arrested for? What was the charges for, upon which he was arrested for? It's not clear. So these are things, and these are the results of having people who are not competent running a lot of these agencies. If somebody has really done something really bad or committed a crime, and you have evidence of it, bring it forward and let him or she have his day in court. So there are many cases. I think we know of Bawa's case because he is obviously a high-ranking person. He used to be the head of an important agency in the Federation. But there are thousands of Nigerians that are being held, as we are speaking today, without trial. They are being denied bail, and there is no idea when any charges will be brought against them in the court of law. This is happening, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Shupo.
The case of Bawa, listen, the case of Bawa, it was accused of gross misconduct in office, abuse of office. So these are the area the money they seized, the money he seized, he plugged his hand into it and removed some amount of money. He went to Mecca with the mom, with the family, the wives and everybody. So it's enough. Why in office?
Okay, so I think you mentioned the keyword there. You said he's accused.
These are the allegations against him. But in Nigeria, in advanced world, what we normally do is for 10 years, there will be surveillance on you. Right? If they want to catch you, they don't, because they know that you take them to court and the court will find them. If you have found one thing, but they want to establish it. But in Nigeria, we don't do thorough investigation. But these are the areas that I read that abuse of forces, gross misconduct, all this.
So, if I may, to actually hold him without charges and without bail is actually doing what Bawa himself is accused of doing.
Yeah,
it has been accused. I think agencies in Nigeria need to understand that before you knock on somebody's door to arrest him, you should have your evidence of a crime that has been committed.
You should actually tell him on the spot why you are arrested.
You should tell him why he's been arrested. You should tell him his rights under the law.
Yeah.
And he should be free to have his day in court. That is when, because a lot of people that have been held, some of them are actually political prisoners. They are being held not because they've actually done something wrong, but because they've offended somebody in high office. That on its own is a classic case of abuse of power, which Bawa is being accused of.
I heard shortly before his arrest that he has a problem with former Sanfora Governor Yari. Governor Yari said that Bawa was demanding about 100 million naira or something, or maybe dollars from him. But
again,
there is no clarification.
Accused.
Nobody has clarified anything. Right now, the DSS, they have not told us this is his offense. They have not brought him before a court of law, but he's been locked in.
Wrong. It's against the rule of law. They don't do that.
But yeah, and meanwhile, we have people in Nigeria today that there are evidence in public domain of wrongdoing, and yet no charges has been brought against them. And nobody has dared to explain what investigation was done and why they were cleared of any potential criminal charges.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say about this is that this is not President Tinubu's policy. I think this is a hangover from the Buhari regime, and all these all the heirs of the agencies, like especially the DSS. I think they are still in this power-drunken state of Buhari regime, and they are doing all this.
Respectfully,
I don't think this is not Tinubu.
I disagree.
This is not Tinubu's person. No.
Tinubu is the current president.
Yeah.
And the buck stops with him. You see, this is part of the problem that we have with And this was a major problem I have with the Tinubu presidency from the beginning, because the emphasis was not, I have a vision, I have a plan. In my opinion, for Nigeria, it was Emilokan. It's my turn. If he's the president, he is now, whether he's changed the administrators or the heads of those agencies, he is pseudo accountable for whatever happens right now. And if he himself is not happy with what is happening, I think as president, he should have taken the appropriate actions.
I think there's a lot of things on his table at the moment. We are looking at the war in Nigeria. There's so many things. So I'm not sure that
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not an excuse.
This is not. I'm very confident. Tinubu himself is an activist who has been maybe arrested several times. We know what it is. So I am very confident that the president this is not the president's policy. This is just an hangover from the last government. And I'm sure that this is going to be resolved. I'm very confident about that. And I will just advise the DSS, to have a human face. We saw what happened with Emefiele the other time. They were dragging themselves all over the place. And this is not the kind of things we want to see. So I think DSS needs some reform. Yeah.
If any of the federal agencies are listening, all of these federal agencies, if you look at societies where things are done very orderly, they are always led by lawyers. Why? Because lawyers understand the limits of constitutional powers that their agencies have. They know the right way to make arrests, the right way to conduct investigations without denying citizens of their rights. What we have in Nigeria is a situation where these sensitive agencies are led by people who don't even understand their own role or their own jobs. They don't understand the limits of their constitutional powers, and they think they can just do whatever they want. The right thing to do for a lot of these agencies, even a major reform that I would say should happen in the police force, every police station in the Federal Republic of Nigeria should have a resident lawyer, so that when issues are brought, people are arrested, they can ensure that things are done in accordance with the law. You cannot be a government and be contravening the law and then expect to hold citizens accountable. It's just not done. You have to lead by example. And leading by example means you have to do things in accordance with the law, within the limits of your own constitutional powers. And that is what will give you the moral standing to hold criminals to account.
Okay, thank you very much, Shubo. We are out of time. Lighton, I'm just going to give you 1 minute to say one line now before we finally close. Can you, have you something else to say? Are you okay?
I just want to say that the problem, the Naira problem, the way it's going, like we should stop this aggrandizement stuff, craze for foreign goods, and Nigerians, right? We should cut our coat according to our speed. I heard a friend discussing that in Zambia, Nigeria embassy there, they rented the place. They are paying like $18,000 every month, right? Where are they going to get the Naira? We are going to get the dollar. The dollar they are sending from foreign affairs. So a lot of money will be on Naira, right? We can't sustain it. And central bank, it is the duty and responsibility of a central bank to peg dollar, right? It should not be. I mean, it is stipulated in the constitution.
Okay. Right? Let's we will leave that for another time later. So thank you, gentlemen. We've come to the end of today's deliberation, and I want to thank you very much, Mr. Abdulahi Bawa, who's based in United States of America, and Mr. Lawal, who joined us from Canada. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal, for joining us. And
thank you for having me.
For all our viewers, we want to say again, thank you very much for viewing our videos. Again, if you have not subscribed, please hit that subscription button. It is free of charge. It means anytime we do the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. And please, if you have any, if you want to give us any advice or you have any piece of information you want to give us, please send your emails to info@diasporapanel.com. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody, and until we see you again next week, Sunday at 8 p.m. GMT. Thank you, and God bless you.